Did Ben Johnson just send a message to the Chicago Bears? Let's take a look. What is going on, y'all? Fox Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL, here to talk about the Chicago Bears and here to talk about Ben Johnson, who basically has a list of requirements that essentially came out. And this is coming from Albert Breer, who was reporting on this. And he talked about the fact that Ben Johnson said that he won't chase interviews, quote unquote, this coming off season. And if he takes an interview for a head coaching position, it will be with the intention of taking the job. And then Albert Breer said that there were two criteria that he had in the interview process for Ben Johnson, which was number one, organizational alignment, in particular between the head coach and the general manager. And then number two, recognition from the organization on what went wrong previously and their willingness to fix it. All right, a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, is he talking about the Chicago Bears here? Did he really send the Bears a message? And I have to say that I do think that this is a little bit of a shot at the Bears, mainly because of, again, the organizational alignment part, recognizing from the organization what went wrong. So he's talking about the Bears, but I think he's also talking about other teams that are kind of dysfunctional and are going to have head coaching openings or already do have head coaching openings. And this was swirling on Twitter and X about Ben Johnson and, whether he is taking a shot at the Bears. So I do think there's a little bit of it. I don't think it's completely directed at the Chicago Bears, but a little bit of it, okay? The thing in particular that I thought was really interesting was that Ben Johnson is basically saying to the Bears and other teams, but mainly the Bears probably, but actually this is for all other teams, that he is not interviewing in the sense that he's the one getting interviewed. He is interviewing teams. So he said here he won't chase interviews. Basically saying, hey, if I want the job, I'm going to go ahead and get it. So you're not interviewing me for the job. I'm interviewing you if I want this job. And I know in any sort of interview, right, you have to go ahead and see if the person that's interested wants the job, but also the person hiring you wants to hire the person. But usually in an interview, if you take an interview, you're interested, right? That's what people assume. So to me, I know a lot of people are going to be like, wow, Ben Johnson's got an ego here. He's basically saying he is the one interviewing teams, not the other way around. But to me, it seems like a guy who's very confident in himself. So let's see. And then the criteria part. Organizational alignment, in particular between the head coach and the general manager. This part makes me a little worried because does that mean that he needs his own GM? Does that mean he needs to come in if he comes into a team with his own general manager? This was really the reason I feel like Jim Harbaugh didn't have a lot of options where he could go, where especially the Chicago Bears, which is the Bears were not going to fire Ryan Poles, and Jim Harbaugh wanted his own general manager. So organizational alignment, in particular between the head coach and the general manager, does that mean Ben Johnson wants his own his own general manager? Something to think about here. Ryan Poles is not getting fired this offseason. So if that's what Ben Johnson wants, he's probably not coming to Chicago. Number two, recognition from the organization on what went wrong previously and their willingness to fix it. This one shouldn't be a problem. The Bears should be able to go ahead and tell Ben Johnson, hey, we screwed up with Shane Waldron. Ryan Poles can say, I'll own up to that. And we made a mistake, and we're trying to get better from it and move forward. I don't think there's much else that needs to be discussed there. So overall, my takeaway from this information is that Ben Johnson is the one deciding, not the Chicago Bears. And I feel like Ben Johnson is super confident in his abilities. This does not make me any less interested in Ben Johnson, honestly. I know some people are turned off by this. I'm not. I think Ben Johnson's a supremely confident guy, and he's got the results to back it up. I know he's never been a head coach, but he's got the results as a coordinator to back it up. And I'm still sold on Ben Johnson. So to me, this is going to be about if Ben Johnson wants to come to Chicago and if he wants to have a general manager that he didn't pick. So interesting. I do think this works against the Bears in their favor for the reasons I mentioned. But yeah, man, still a chance, but obviously not the greatest thing that you want to hear about a head coaching candidate. Let me know what you guys think about this, man. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching.